Hello, Table Talk community. I am glad to be back. I hope everyone is feeling good and being very safe, washing your hands and taking care of yourself, and doing safe distancing. So important that we do safe distancing to protect ourselves so we can stay healthy. I've had so much time to gather all these questions from the subscribers. By the way, you subscribers are amazing. You talk and you share and you help each other. And then you help me become a better YouTube subscriber by taking that information and sharing my personal connection with that information. And everyone benefits from it. Everyone. We started a Udemy course, online course that is free. A lot of questions came in about free information for behavioral health and the symptoms, and I absolutely heard you and I executed that agenda just like you asked me. Udemy has a online course. It's under my name, Armisha Lynn, and it talks about what we talk about in depth. And it also talks about new stuff that we're bringing out. Like I was talking to someone regarding the deep depression tornado system theory. And one of the members wants me to break it down into parts. And each part will have its own 15 minutes to have a better understanding of how the similarities to a Category 5 tornado is to mental illness and its destruction. As in so many words, the tornado with the symptom, the disease and the symptoms and how you behave without positive antidotes applied, how you spiral into destruction just like a Category 5 tornado. So thank you, YouTube subscribers. Thank you so much. I would do just that. You asked me for a free online course. I gave you that. You're asking me to break down the tornado system theory. I'm going to be working on that and talking about that in part. And whatever information you have, share with me, share with each other, so we can grow together as a unit. This is a Table Talk community. Feel free, relax, and share, because there's no bad question. There's always an answer or response of some sort that I can give you that you can pass along to help your life going forward in the challenges that we have together, because I have them too. Don't forget, my introduction is I have those challenges as well as you have those challenges, but we fight them together. Thank you so much again. Thank you. Our question for today is, depression sometimes become too much to bear. My symptoms change from time to time. Explain. Thank you, subscriber. Thank you for talking about depression. It's one of our topics that we talk about on a regular basis. And what I do is I share my experience so you can understand the similarities to the question is in connection to when you experience depression. Because I have bipolar 1, I have PTSD, and I also have personality disorder. So let's break it down, and I'll share my story. Depression, it starts off with the symptoms of sadness. You have the isolation. I had the isolation. I had the sadness. I had the self-loathing. I really got to the point where depression had me ready to have a suicide. It put me to the point where I just wanted to take my life and leave because it was too heavy to bear. And I speak about it a lot, how symptoms of mental illness has a weight to it. Depression has a weight to it too, and it's very heavy. And its intentions is to weigh on you until you have an irresponsible response. So I had the symptoms, but through my self-assessment, I started to discover how those symptoms turn into deeper symptoms. So it's not only depression, it turns into deep depression because the intent is to get you lower. Get you lower until you decide you want to take your life. You can't take it any longer. So that's where I was. I was at depression, I was at the isolation and the self-loathing, and I was feeling accepted. I didn't feel accepted. So that changed. My symptoms through time changed into, I want to leave this earth because I can't handle the weight of depression. Now that, if you see the transition, it's changing you from depression symptoms into deep depression symptoms. Deep depression symptoms are heavier. Deep depression symptoms are more closer to the suicide acceptance. When you get to the point where you're saying, I can't take it anymore, this is too much to bear, it's time for me, I don't want to be here, I want to leave this earth. That's deep depression. That's deep depression because now you are starting to accept that suicide is an option. And you're now saying, I want to leave here because there's nothing else to choose. That's what deep depression wants you to think. But applying positive antidotes in those dangerous pockets, you will change your thinking and turn it around for the better. That's what I speak about in the Deep Depression Tornado System Theory, how depression intent is to pull you deeper and pull you further, want you to think about suicide, want you to start acting upon suicide, such as your suicide selection of choice, whatever that may be. And it starts to give you, in my mind, let me say it about me. In my mind, it started to give me the relief of dying. It started to give me to understand that my kids will be taken care of if I die. My family and friends, they're not going to worry about me if I die. If we just die, it's just you don't have to worry about anybody. Everybody's taken care of. Your kids, they got your life insurance, and it's almost like no worries. This depression is saying worry free. Don't worry. Killing yourself is a good idea. Now that being said, what saved me was me taking on a partner, which was my counselor, and me fighting those symptoms with positive antidotes in those dangerous pockets. In those dangerous pockets, you start to say to yourself that I choose to live, I choose not to die, I choose it. This is a choice that I am choosing. I choose not to have depression and deep depression to take control of my life. I choose to go the opposite way of what my fictitious thinking is telling me to choose it. And once I started choosing it, I started acting upon that decision. I started telling myself, now that I've chose to live, let's start living. And that's how you turn it around. You have to someone told me this. Someone told me, understand that mental illness will never give you a break. It will always find a way to terrorize you, to make you feel sad, to make you feel like you don't belong. So you have to fight with all your mental muscle. You have to tell mental illness as a whole, you will not be dictated to, and you will not control me. So that's what I did to turn myself around. And I executed it on a regular basis. When you're dealing with saving yourself, you execute those thoughts on a regular basis. I started writing things down. I started doing positive things around my community. I started talking to my counselor weekly to make sure I'm doing the right things to stay alive. And I stay alive. And I'm here today. And I want you here today. I'm talking to suicide survivors. I'm a suicide survivor times 2. So suicide, pain, hurt. I know that kind of hurt. I know that kind of pain. And I'm saying to you, you can turn that kind of hurt and pain around for the better because you start to partnership, you start to apply positive antidotes, you start to have execution of those antidotes, you started doing everything you needed to do the opposite of what that mental illness, fictitious thinking wanted you to do. Fictitious thinking is terrible. It will get you to believe one thing and it's really not the truth. That's why we triple check. We talked about triple checking our fictitious thinking a while ago when I had nightmares and flashbacks, and they were really to the point where I had to carry a weapon. So that's in one of the channels too. But this right here for depression, I'm telling you now, depression is absolutely, you can receive a balance. You can balance your life with mental illness and positive living. You can balance it, absolutely balance it. Because we already know fictitious thinking and mental illness is not leaving, but you're not leaving either. You, with your positive living, you're not leaving either. You're here to fight. You're here, you have friends to fight. You have community to tap into to fight. You have everything you need to fight. And we're giving you those information. So now you, the person, choose not to go that negative route. Take the high road. It's better. It's living in the high road. And most of the time when you do accept deep depression and you accept that behavior, it will cause you to have irresponsible responses such as take a handful of pills, harm yourself, harm others while you're harming yourself. Sometimes when you harm yourself, you don't go by yourself, you take others with you. And those are irresponsible responses that's the direction we don't want to go. So definitely partner up, counseling, tap into Table Talk community and all the positive antidotes we have in our videos, and reach out to each other, reach out to me, let me know anything else you want me to talk about. Just have open dialogue and we'll get it done. You are not alone. That's the beauty. We're here, your community is here, your family is here, We're here to fight. So until next time, stay healthy,